Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something really foundational. It powers so much of what we do online, but honestly, it can be a bit mysterious for a lot of people. We're talking about cloud computing, our mission. Cut through the jargon, pull out the key stuff from the sources you sent, and just make this whole topic make sense for you.
Exactly. And, at its heart, cloud computing is really just about using the internet to get to your computing stuff. Things like storage, servers, even software. Instead of having it all on your own computer, right?
Right, like that analogy we saw.
Yeah, the photo one. Remember saving photos to a physical hard drive, that little box? No, most people use Google Photos, maybe iCloud, that switch. From owning the hardware to basically renting the computing power and space from someone else, that's the cloud.
Okay, so it's not just floating out there somewhere. What our sources really dug into is that it's these huge, powerful systems. Data centers run by big companies like Amazon, that's AWS, or Microsoft with Azure, Google with GCP.
Massive operation.
And it's more than just storage, like you said. It's the actual servers running websites, the apps we use every day, like Canva or Microsoft 365, databases, networks, the whole shebang.
It's a whole ecosystem. And the scale allows for incredible efficiency. It often comes packaged in different ways, these as a service models.
Okay.
Depends on how much control you actually need. The one most folks interact with daily is probably SaaS, software as a service.
Moz, right.
Yeah. You just use the software, think Gmail, Zoom, Google Docs, you log in, it works, you don't worry about updates or where it's running.
Like streaming a movie on Netflix, you just press play.
Precisely. The infrastructure is totally invisible to the user.
Okay, that's simple enough for users.
Yeah.
But what are the people building things? The developers. Our sources suggested they need a bit more control than just using the final product. What's next?
Yeah, for them, there's PaaS, platform as a service. This gives developers like a ready-made environment for building, testing, deploying their apps. But they don't have to manage the underlying servers or the operating systems. Ah, so it handles the background headaches.
Exactly. Things like Heroku or Google App Engine are good examples. Developers can just focus on writing their code, speeds things up a lot. It's a really useful middle ground.
Okay, so PaaS helps developers focus on code, but what if you need like total control? Down to the virtual nuts and bolts. Our sources talked about IaaS for that, right? Infrastructure as a service.
Spot on. IaaS is the most fundamental layer. You're essentially renting the raw ingredients. Virtual servers, storage, networking. Think AWS EC2, Google Compute Engine. It gives you maximum flexibility, which is great if you need a really custom setup.
But more control means more responsibility, I guess.
Definitely. You're managing more of it yourself with IaaS.
Got it. So we have SaaS, PaaS, IaaS, how you use the cloud. But how are these services actually set up, like structurally? The sources mentioned deployment models.
Right. There are three main ways. There's a public cloud. That's probably what most people think of big providers like AWS or Azure, where resources are shared by many customers.
Okay, shared infrastructure. Then you have the private cloud. This is infrastructure dedicated just to one single company, maybe for extra security or specific compliance rules.
Makes sense.
And the third?
That's the hybrid cloud. And this is becoming really common. It's basically mixing public and private clouds.
Yeah.
Get the best of both worlds, flexibility from public, control from private.
Okay, interesting mix. So bringing this all back to the listener, why should you care about all this? How does it actually impact your daily life?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, the cloud has really democratized technology. It's cost effective. This pay-as-you-go thing means startups can scale globally without needing millions up front for servers.
Right, lowers the barrier to entry.
Massively. And it's incredibly scalable. It can handle sudden spikes in users. Think Netflix streaming to millions on AWS or Instagram storing, billions of photos.
Yeah, unimaginable scale otherwise.
Plus accessibility from anywhere, automatic updates, backups. I mean, remember worrying about losing your phone and all your photos?
Oh yeah, definitely don't miss that.
Oh.
Cloud storage pretty much solved that. Even games like Fortnite rely on cloud servers for smooth multiplayer.
It really is this invisible engine. But are there downsides, challenges? Our sources touched on some potential issues too.
Good point. It's not all seamless. One big thing is vendor lock-in. Getting stuck with one provider like AWS or Azure can make switching really difficult and expensive. Their services aren't always compatible.
Ah, so you can get trapped.
Sort of, yeah. And security is always a conversation. The providers offer strong security tools, but if the company using the cloud misconfigures something, that can lead to data breaches. It's a shared responsibility.
Okay, so user error is a factor.
Definitely. And one thing gaining more attention is the environmental impact. These huge data centers use enormous amounts of energy. It's a real sustainability challenge the industry is grappling with now, pushing for greener solutions.
Wow, didn't even think about the power consumption angle. That's significant. Okay, so wrapping this up, cloud computing. It's this massive, mostly unseen infrastructure driving so much of our digital experience, makes things accessible, scalable, cost-effective, but also brings new challenges like lock-in and environmental concerns.
That sums it up well. And maybe a final thought for you listening, just start noticing it. Think about how many times a day you interact with something powered by these remote systems. Streaming, social media, work tools, it's almost everything now. And maybe you wonder,
Yeah.
what's next? With things like edge computing coming up, what new innovations will this ubiquitous cloud power in the future? Just something to chew on as you use your tech today.